All right, good afternoon. It's another beautiful Friday. And of course, this is Alive Politics on Alive Television. I can tell you for a fact that this is a platform where we will be having different kind of political matters to check and other things that influence political matters on this program and of course on this television. It is a live television. My name is Ambassador Robin Emmanuel Oluwafemi. For a short, you can call me MC Rio. And of course on this platform we will be having different kind of discussion. Today is a different ball game, today is a different ball game already. It's a different topic already. You definitely will enjoy the program today. You stay tuned. You don't have any reason to touch that down. My name is Ambassador Robin Emmanuel Oluwafemi. I'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare.
The federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the sectarian. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For a fact that going from here to Ombalin day before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Welcome back to Alive Politics on Alive Television. Well, today is quite different. Today, we'll be looking at a particular topic, and what's the topic is drug abuse and political influence. And I'll tell you for a fact that, a lot of people have been dragged into drugs, and of course, a couple of people have abused drugs. There are some drugs in particular that are actually for your health. But people no longer use it for their usefulness again. However, people now use it for different things entirely. But this is where the problem lies. We're trying to call, of course, you cannot eradicate it. You can drastically reduce it. But different organizations, especially the NGO, the non-governmental organization, have been trying so much and are making effort to curb drug abuse. Let's quickly take a look at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, coming to speak of them. They are a government agency, but trust me, it takes everybody to fight drug abuse. But the place where I have issues with drug abuse here is, one way or the other, it has political influence in it. Because we are not getting justice for it. And somebody gets to say, oh, we need to talk to our government, we need to do this, we need to do that. Our governments need to be concerned about drug abuse, about how people abuse drug and all, etc., etc. The truth is we are not getting justice. And how do you even get justice? And somebody said everything should not be based on prosecution. A lot of time when you arrest people who do drugs, people who sell drugs, for every goods, there is always a final consumer. So somebody is making that drugs, somebody is supplying the drugs, somebody is bringing it in the country, somebody is buying and reselling. You have people who have the wholesale, you have people who have the retail, you have people who have, and then the final consumer is where we'll come into. That is where the ball's ended, because no matter how much you produce a drug, somebody's going to use it. Why are the people using it? There are different causes of taking drugs. A lot of people got into depression and they had to use drugs to sustain them. And somebody will tell you, oh, this is how I feel when I'm on drugs. There are light drugs, there are minimal drugs, there are hard drugs, there are strong drugs. And one thing about abusing drugs is it's like a level by level. It's like you are playing a game. You go from stage 1, continue to play stage 1. At a point in time, you are used to playing stage 1. You know when this one will come and attack you. You want to upgrade to stage 2. You get to stage 2, you don't longer value stage 1 because stage 1 don't longer have effect on you. Stage 2, you continue until you get to a stage where it get to affect your mental health, your mindset, how you think, because drugs actually works even to your brain. And then, what is the government doing about drug abuse in our society? Your environment actually tells so much about you. There are people, when you hear, well, let me take Lagos for example. There are some people that will say, oh, I stay at Ikoyi. You'll be like, oh, this person is at Ikoyi, this person stays at Ikoyi. It's as if people don't do drugs or don't buy drugs at Ikoyi. But when you say, oh, I stay at Ikorodu, hey, they say, that area, everybody there are this or that or this and that. And sometimes when you say, oh, I'm in a private school. Once upon a time in Nigeria, a private school student in the higher institution started abusing drug one after the other. It's all on the social media. And trust me, the internet does not forget. Now, stepping on to government, which is the only body that will believe they can curb drug abuse in our society. A lot of people have used different approaches on curbing drug abuse. Now, let's boil down to politicians, and that is why we bring to you this afternoon drug abuse and political influence. Now, why am I saying political influence? There are some people who are the drug baron, the Pablo, the real drug lords. And a couple of them are even politicians. Those that are not politicians know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So whenever they go arrested, they always find their ways. You talk about people who take import and export drugs. Now there are many agencies you should call. When you talk about the NDLEA, you know their functions. Can you please talk about the custom? Talk about the immigration? Talk about farm. All these people are government agencies. So when we bow down to government and drug abuse, then you should understand the president will not come down to the airport to start to, oh, who is carrying drugs? No. But the president has the constitutional power and right to appoint somebody who's going to look after that place. It baffles me a lot, and I wonder how they get to do it when I see the NDLEA arresting people carrying drug in different kind of satanic form. I call it satanic form because how do you manage to put drugs inside egg? And you break the egg instead of it to see what it's supposed to be seen in egg. You're seeing drugs. Some people use this electronics. Some people use different kind of material things to import and export drugs. Now, how do politicians influence all this? Are they supposed to be part or not? How have we been fighting drug abuse in our society? It's a very strong thing. If you call me Ambassador Robin Emmanuel Oluwafemi, you wonder why I'm an ambassador. I'm an ambassador of Nigerian Police Force against cultism and other vices. Yes, I was named there last year. And yet we've been trying, as you're copying, because there is no drug without court, no court without drugs. They work hand in hand. They're like 5 and 6. So all needs to be addressed. However, we cannot finish addressing this matter now. 1 hour is too small to address it. 1 day is too small to address it. It is a continuous thing. And one of the things we fought for last year is you can't continue to arrest the final consumer, sentence them, and leave them afterward. They will definitely go back to it. Something set them to using the drug, depression, or whatever. And when you arrest them, you punish them, you return back. How much have we paid concentration, or have we concentrated much on our rehabilitation centers? What is our rehab like? How do we employ people? Do we put people in government rehab centers based on nepotism or favorism? All this needs to be talked about. All this needs to be addressed. Do you appoint somebody to be in immigration office as the head, or the custom as the head, or the NDLEA based on nepotism? Do you put people who are victims or people who understand how these things should work? politicians that happen to eventually end up to be our president, our governor, our senators, our members of House of Representatives, to the local government, and of course to the elderly statesmen in the country. How do they influence this? Most of them make their money from drugs. How? So to say. No record, no data for it. But eventually, how come a lot of people who import and export drugs are going scot-free in the country? And how have we been trying to fight drug abuse in our society? My name is Ambassador Robin Emmanuel. I'll go on a short break. When I'm back, I will introduce the guest to you. All right, welcome back to Alive Politics on Alive Television. I told you I have a guest in the house, and of course we'll be having, a discussion on drug abuse and political influence. So this is somebody who has tried using his platform to address drug abuse in our society. And I think the government needs to meet people like my guest today to work hand in hand, because like I always say, it takes two to tango. Anyways, I'd like to present to you Ambassador Brown Chinedu Wilfred, popularly called Smile Global, a name after his company, Smile Global Entertainment, and who has produced, direct and manage high-profile entertainers in Nigeria and beyond, from AWA Life, Sheilo, Pencil Unbroken, Godos, Kiss Daniel, Akpururu, Rugged Man Corporate Brand, and a government event, just to mention but a few. He has managed the likes of Orisha Femi, Sam Cleft, Rugged Man or Young Star. He is a style maker. He also has an event which he has pushed towards illicit drug abuse. Wow. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
On the show this afternoon.
It's an honor to be here. It's always an honor to always speak to the youth and the people about the illicit against drug abuse. All right, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And of course, you're welcome to Alive Television. This is Alive Politics, where we talk so many things that, politics influence in our society. But I'm glad because you have actually worked with several of these entertainers, because there is this saying outside and behind the camera entertainment, that a lot of them got influenced by whatever thing they take, drugs to be said, to be precise, drugs. And then we have seen a lot of them coming out on social media. Now, I'm not talking about the comedians, because I hardly see it from the comedians, but it's rampant when it comes to the music, to the musician. Is so rampant with them that they come on social media, they go on live Instagram, live on whatever platform, and yet they show this ability of taking drugs, which has much influence on other people or their fans, their followers. And we are in a stage where our children, the kids, have like a direct access to the internet. Like, it's no longer the way it used to be. Now we just little change, you can buy data on your phone. Almost everybody have they follow their favorite celebrities. But let's just quickly come down to how you have been fighting drug abuse in our society, and what's the level of support you have gotten from the government so far. Let's start from there.
All right, thank you. First is the truth is, until a system is put in place, there's not going to be perfect society or a perfect community without policy. And it's beyond putting policy in place. Are the, in quotes, high-profile personnel respecting that policy, because it's always from the top to the bottom. All right? Even if I have a philosophy that I have always put together to tell the community and say, do it right, let's leave our leaders. Even sometimes when you want to do it right, the system, because the system is not fixed and the system has to be fixed by the leader, it will frustrate even the average man who is trying to do it right. Now, if we have policy, if we have a system that regulates and also impose to the people, all right, a lot of our problems would have been half solved. Now, I always tell people, because from the place of entertainment, which is where I'm coming to, entertainment is one of the things that drives a global system. I mean, we are an oil producing nation. Did we export oil? No. We exported entertainment, music, comedy. Now, has the government paid emphasis on that part that has exported the country itself? No. Now, if we have a rule, imagine when, sometimes I sit and ask myself, we have old schools that we fall back to in terms of music, lyrically, what we listen to. I ask myself, what would our children fall back to as old school? Because what you see right now is a product of drug. So that I will feed what you are supposed to do. So that means naturally, in your sense of sense, you have conscience. For you to lose your conscience. Now, if the system has put it right, from the artists who are one convener, a public figure, to say, please, this thing, you must not be seen doing this thing. Now, it's even very open. They put it on music video. I mean, it's on the Instagram, is everywhere. So it's at the reach of anybody. And these are the people that the public call role models. And your role model is saying, oh, now wait till they inspire me. Obviously, the average person will want to take it. So if the government has frowned at it, which the government, seriously, if I need to say it the way it is, if we had frowned at it, we're in that system of godfatherism. That's the honest truth. If you pick me, I will just be laughing because I know who to call that is in the place of authority. So
exactly where I'm coming.
I am above the law. So if the law needs to catch up with me, I will be careful of what to do. Because I know if I am caught, I am going to face the authority. And I keep saying this. I said, Nigerian is a system if Nigerian system has to work, right, we are going to go back to people may not like it in the aspect of jungle justice. And I asked somebody one day, I said, okay, if you say this thing is bad and the whole law abiding system is abiding to it, all right, somebody is caught doing what he's not supposed to do. I'm sorry to say, he's put on national TV and they read it out. This person did XYZ. He's caught. Charges has been made against him. He has been corrected before now, because I do not believe that, yes, you can be influenced, yes, but mentorship is another thing that can take you out of being influenced. Who are your mentor? Who do you speak to? Who are directing you? Now, even the law, even the people who are supposed to be a correctional center are the same people that are corrupt and spoiling the system. Why don't you make this guy face the law? Now, you caught someone. Instead of making him go through the process, what are the process? Sit him down. Speak to his conscience. Why are you take him through counseling? It's not that you just pick up someone, the next thing we're hearing is in jail, from jail. Do you know that our prison system that is supposed to be a rehabilitation, a correctional system, when others go there and come back, they become more hardened. Yeah. They become more wicked. In short, they become more serious to things that they do. Why? Because instead of it to be a correctional system, rather it became a tug of war for them. When you pick up these people, what do? There is a counseling system that asks them, speak to them. Why are you doing this thing? Do you know it's detriment to your loins, of recently, I think my pastor preached it and it took me to that. Cigarettes. When you go to cigarette, you see the normal heart. When you see where they say this is what is it the heart or the loins? This is what it now turns into when you're smoking. And when people buy it, I ask them, do you really read this thing? This is what you look like at the moment. But as you take this is what you now would look like. Do you want to look like this? Now, take them through a process of counseling. Talk them out of it. Even if you need to now put them in the rehabilitational center to create the rehabilitation center should be a correctional process. Yeah? Then, when you know that you release this person, now he's adapting to treatment, he's okay. You have spoken to him, there's a follow-up system, the person is fine. Now you release him to the society. There are constant checkup. And then the person purposely went back to that same thing. All right? Until one person is made a scapegoat, a lot of people will not change. How? How do I mean? This person, you read out his profile. This person has done this over and over and over again. We have tried to do this, but since it's not changing, we have no choice. There's national TV, there's this. That's what I said about jungle justice. He's been fired in public, and the national TV is covering. And this is a scapegoat to the people. Now, who won't take smoke to smoke? Who won't do drugs? Go remember. There's a picture in his head. That guy. Now, what did this do? When they take kill and be this one? Open killing, open disgrace to family, open humiliation to the public. The sense go reprogram. So, okay, I will make a good thing.
Okay, Ambassador Brown, for all you have said, but we are still in the program and we're still having it. But I just quickly want to, make out a point now. Remember, there are some countries that is a death sentence if you are caught carrying drugs. I mean, you talk about Indian, you talk about China, you talk about some other country, so many. And you know, even our Nigerians, a lot of them are on death sentence list right now as we speak. I did not know until Abike Dabiri, the chairman of the Nigeria living in diaspora, had to come outside to say we are still pleading every day, or we plead every day with another government to please just send this guy or sentence them instead of killing them. But I just want to say, regardless or no matter what the law says, some people will still break the law, and that is where I'm coming. Some people are doing this because of the political influence they have in doing these drugs. And you remember, for anybody who you have spoken about, like this person is doing drugs now, let's not now talk about who is taking the drugs. Let's talk about how the drugs are being produced. And people who are producing the drug are not just ordinary people. They are people of high caliber. They might not even be in politics, but they are putting people in politics. They are putting people in political seats. They are sponsoring people. Just like the Mohbad issue trending recently, somebody said, some people will come out and said, oh, it's one Yahoo boy or one internet fraudster that is sponsoring their record label. He said, no, most people that own record label and sponsored record label are even drug lords. They sell the drug, they export, they import, they produce, they load it. Recently, the NDLEA arrested a drug baron, one Pablo of drugs somewhere at Ikoyi, a very beautiful house, all loaded with drugs. And these are people that will give shiftancy titles. These are people that we see as, elderly statement, but yet what they do at the corner of their house and their heart is so evil. But now you are in the entertainment industry, and I want to ask you the question directly. You've worked with Kiss Daniel, you've worked with Orisha Femi, and so on and so. Even the comedians. Yeah, the comedians might not be coming to the social media to smoke or to do whatever, but they always have sponsors. They always have people they run to. And I want to ask you, have you heard of anything of such, met them, or those other people you are not working with? Is there a reason why you are not working with? And the people you are working with, are they saints?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, of course.
Okay. Like I said earlier, yeah, until we have a system, all right, and we have a rule that governs the system, right, these things would not be addressed. It's a
And that goes back
circulation.
to the government.
Yes, it circulates in the system. Just like you said, the people who sponsor the so-called politics are the same drug baron. All right? Now, until there is a system, until there are rules, right? These things will not stop. In the last 3 years, I have been putting out proposal, all right, for a public show to speak against illicit drug abuse. All right? Illicit against drug abuse. I've written to a lot of companies. In short, at a point, an agency told me and said, Smile, don't you think this thing that you're trying to do is going to kick against the rule of some companies? And I said to the person, where do we have our conscience? And the person said to me, bros, I said, look at the Indians. Look at their movies. Go and do your scaling. They have one of the highest viewership. No sex, no drugs. None of this are in a lot of their movies. But we watch them. So what are we preaching? So until we have a law that abides, and the citizens abide to it, all right? Regardless of your status, regardless of your position, regardless of who you are, then we can start from there. Because even if you need the entertainers right now, all right? The people who sponsor the entertainers are in it. Are you going to tell the entertainer to not tell you that, oh, this person is in it? Even if the person is in it, how do you want to hold the person accountable? You cannot. because the person knows who knows another person that knows the person who is in charge of
Exactly.
So let's tell ourselves the truth. We have lost conscience. That's the honest truth. So I'm saying,
okay.
Do you derive joy? Do you derive joy in seeing another brother fail? Can I be honest with you?
Please do.
Research has says that most of the people who are these drug barons don't take the drug. They know the implication of the drug. They know the detriment of the drug. They don't take it. So for them, it's business. So it has to be a system. Until there's a system. I shot a content like, I think 2 weeks ago about addressing the drug thing. And then what was I saying? I said, don't be influenced into it. Don't take it because you feel others are taking it.
Okay, Ambassador Brown, this will bring me
why people take drugs. There are so many reasons and influence why. There's some familiar ecology kind of influence. There's society. There's some people that were dragged into it. There's some people even influence them that to write songs or to have a good stage performance, you have to get on something, you have to be high on something. I don't know how all those are going to be addressed, but this is it. You are in an industry where we have the highest number of drug abuser. I mean, I'm talking about the youth now, and I'm talking about how a lot of them are being used, because you have been trying to use entertainment to communicate. But even I noticed that during election campaign, most of our politicians knows how to use our youth and entertainment industry to campaign, because in their general campaign or whatever campaign they do, they know how to bring artists, how to use them to capture the heart of the people, because when artists are in a particular place, they bring that captivity kind of spirit. Everybody wants to come and see these artists. In that note, they will use time and pass their messages, but after they are in, after everything, they are gone. They will just have to do whatever thing they want to do. But the same artists that would have even joined us in hands to fight against drug abuse are actually in love with the drugs, and yet it's not their fault, because it's like government are not putting some policies in place for people to respect. Even if the government had done that, if they have actually put in a lot of policies in place, but because of favorism and nepotism, because of godfatherism, most of them are disrespecting the law because they know. And I'll give you one good example right now. An example is Naira Marley. Recently, the NDLEA uses Naira Marley to talk against drug abuse. And the day talking about drug abuse, a couple of days after, we still see Naira Marley on his page. He still have all this, smoking and playing and, encouraging people to do more drugs. If you check the internet today, you see more. And can you really talk or give reasons why Naira Marley was among every artist? Banky W is there. We have never seen him come outside to smoke in public. We have a couple of artists like that. But then, do you have any clue or idea why the NDLEA chooses to use Naira Marley, who is currently, battling with a lot of issues now in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a matter of fact, in the world, because of the happenings? But using Naira Marley to fight drug abuse, do you think it really make any sense?
Okay, I like to pick an exception to a line in your conversation. All right. First is, entertainers are not the most drug abused personality. All right. All of the industry. Yeah, I know of somebody in Abuja who works with the federal government in the Ministry of Power. A she who says she will need to smoke drug in the morning before going to the office. All right. she smokes in the morning before she goes to the office. So because the entertainers, which is
she post it on her Instagram page.
That's what I'm into. All right.
That's why I said entertainer looks like they abuse it more.
Because entertainers are public figures. All right.
Okay.
That is why it became an issue. They are fantastic musicians. They are fantastic actors. They are fantastic entertainers. All right. That are good in their field. That are great brands ambassadors that don't do drugs. So anybody that says, oh, drugs is what put you at the top of it, trust me, it is just trying to cajole your mind. Now, I will say this. Choose who your leader is. All right? And then your followership will always resemble who your leader is. All right? Now, even in the Western world, there's a couple of them, the likes of Drakes and co, that even the government could not control. Okay? But what they could do was to put laws that abide and now help them cut it down. Now, our media has not been regulated. Until we get to that, see, there are a lot to be done in this country, bros. Let's be honest with ourselves. In research, I got to realize that the guy who created TikTok is from China, right? But the lot of nonsense that we do on TikTok does not appear there. They filter it. They filter what they see because they want the people to see educative things. That is what they see there. So
yes, social media is regulated.
Yes, until we now have to regulate a lot of things. And then
there was a particular time the administration of President Momodu
was going to regulate social media. The same youth. Okay.
They were not going to regulate social media. All right?
Okay.
You see, they were going to use social media to their advantage in terms of politics. Do you understand? The challenge we're having in the country is we keep making laws that we don't abide to. Why not make a free and fair laws? I want to shut the border. All right? Have you made supply of products in Nigeria? Have you equipped, have you empowered that supply? Does the government have a bank, a food bank? So we keep making laws and we don't make provisions before we make that law. What Nigerians are suffering today, subsidy is removed. Do we have a bank? Is our refineries working? I think those things need to be fixed. We keep doing the right things at the wrong time. It's the same thing with this drug thing. Right? You're making Naira Marley a brand ambassador. Has it been rehabilitated? There was a time, was it Kiss Daniel or Techno? No, I think it was Techno when he had his loins issue.
Yes, it's Techno.
It was that he has quit smoking and all that. All right? Now, before we bring people up, as I'm a brand ambassador to PokerCov, which you are too, right? I don't do drugs. So you need to look at the people before you use them, right? Has this person repented from who he used to be? So the only thing that can make me preach change or reformity is when I have been rehabilitated, I have been sorted out, I have lived. It's like using the word become born again. Living all that you used to do, you're a new being. Yeah? Now you can preach the gospel. So when you're talking to people, you're referring to where you're coming from. You're telling them the damages that will cost you. Yes. So
Okay,
I'm
I think we need to go on a short break now, and when we get back from this short break, we'll definitely continue this beautiful conversation. Just stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday
The
Dare
federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare
The federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare
The federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalinde before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Hello and welcome to Live News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare.
The federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the secretariat. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For the fact that going from here to Ombalin day before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
All right, welcome back to Alive Politics and Alive Television. And needed actually, we had to quickly, go on a short break. Coming back, Ambassador Brown is still in the studio with us, and of course, we are still having beautiful conversation about drug abuse and political influence. So you were saying something, Ambassador Brown.
It's a terrible lie when the people make you feel like, oh, until you're on drugs, before you can do well. I disagree, all right? A lot of us had gotten it wrong by mentorship, okay? By mentorship. Now, if you said you have given your life to Christ, right? It will show in what you say, in how you behave. Okay, let's even take Christ out of it. Let's come back to normal life. Yeah? I mean, it's my believing faith as a Christian. Now, let's come back to normal life. If you feel you used to be a bad person, and then maybe by chance, you just feel all these things there, has not led the public right for once to be your brand ambassador. I don't know if Nigerian enforcement do not know what it means to be a brand ambassador. All right? You pick such a person to be your brand ambassador. Has it come out before then to say, oh, I forsake drugs. Nigerians, I'm sorry. I know I've led you guys wrongly. Please, this is not until the law enforcement agency made him a brand ambassador. Before then, let it be, this is the reason why they are now making him a brand ambassador, to talk to the youth and lend his voice, because he has repented. He has changed. His person has picked him. How would you do that? That is like pouring petrol into a burning fire. It's gonna burn more. It's gonna burn more. Are we letting the people right? So now the average Nigerian will now say, okay, those that were scared before. Doing the same thing, he came out to profess and say, oh, drug is not good. So how do you want the 7.5 million followers?
All right.
So and you know that outside now, all right, this same issue of him did not start today. There was a time he went for open court. It's been back-to-back issues. Until tomorrow, he's not been brought to book on anything. So how do you want? So that's why when I talk, I go back to the system. There is no system. So
yeah, because
now,
the system actually want us to hammer on, because when you talk about governments, people who are in government, people who we voted for, they are politicians, and you know they all have their own wrongs, have their own rights. They are wrongs before they get in power. They are wrongs before whichever position they are, whichever position they are. But the truth is, are they making this law to their own advantage? Because we are not getting any scapegoat. And like you said, Naira Marley did not even repent. He has not repented before he was named maybe ambassador or whatever thing he was named by the NDLEA. And that in a way might have just encouraged some other youths to say, oh, if government, because they would no longer say it's NDLEA. NDLEA is a government agency, government parastatals, government establishment. So whatever thing they do is the government that is doing it. And then the government, you always know them as politicians. Sometimes you just feel the people that are giving this appointment, are they really the person? I mean, do they really want? Do they have the qualification to be in that particular? Do they have the moral to be in that place where they put them? Because trust me, in this country, you will still see uniform men smoking and doing drugs too, and nothing will happen.
So we've seen a lot of video of uniform men drunken master, and they are never brought to book. So how do you want the average Nigerians to be brought to book? So, like I said, until we build a system that has no favorism in it, then we have not started yet.
So one of the ways to curb these illicit drugs abuse, is to make law or make provision of law that does not have nepotism, favorism in it.
Bros, let us have, see, you know I'm going into politics outside being an ambassador. Yeah, we need to get to a system where we can make research. Yeah, we can make research, amend, and decision.
Ambassador Brown, I have less than 4 minutes.
And before I let you go, I just want to ask you, what do you think are the shortfall on economic stability when it comes to drug abuse in our society?
See, the truth is, the people of the high profile, yeah, sees drug as their source of income. And is contributing very, very large, all right, to the economy. So if you feel that, oh, you want to make it, you just feel that, oh, you cannot go away with it, it becomes something you can't, okay, legalize it and stop disturbing people, please. You understand? Bad. You know it's bad. And you don't want to. Now, instead of you to now start killing people about it, kuku legalize it. Let's know that. Because you can't keep putting a full nation into jeopardy. Sometimes I look at us and I tell people, I said, the country is like a temple run. We are playing game. You make educated people look like they are non-entities. No. Because it is adding to their economy, not our economy. Do you understand?
You mean their economy, you mean their pockets?
Yes.
Okay.
Not our economy. So until we address that, trust me, then if we feel, oh, it's something that we want to make it legalized, we want to add it to the enrichment of the economy, okay, why not legalize it, create an office for it? You should just convert the NDLEA to an office for drug. Instead of illicit against drug abuse, just make it okay, regulate the drugs.
All right, I must say
Much. I must say thank you specially, like the band we always say. So I must say thank you specially. Despite the fact that the notice was quite short, you were able to make it down to a live television and have this beautiful conversation with us on a live politics. I hope the next time we will call you, you would answer, because it's not a one-man fight, it's not a one government fight, it's everybody's fight. The general populace need to come and fight drug abuse so that, yes, we can have freedom from drug abuse in our society. Ambassador Brown, Chinedu, hello?
Hello. Let me say this to every of your viewers, to say, let no peer pressure, let nobody feel to tell you that, oh, because I'm taking drug is the reason why I'm doing this. Is a lie. The person is just damaging his life on a gradual note, but he doesn't know. Please stay away from drug. It is harmful to life. It is harmful to the system.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Chinedu Wilfred Brown. I must say thank you especially, and I hope we'll get connected again, because it's a general fight and we are definitely going to fight this together. Thank you. God bless you. All right, we have been having this beautiful conversation with one of the ambassadors of POCACOF, Police Ambassador Against Cultism and Other Vices. It's been a very beautiful conversation. Yes, stay away from drugs. Different people will come. There are some people that will say, hey, somebody introduced me to it. And you heard what he said before he left. He said, let no peer pressure push you into drug. Don't let your society push you into drug abuse. Don't let your